Welcome to the Dork Forest. Jackie and her pals will never bore us. Shameless confessions
about our obsession
will make us laugh and smile. So let's explore the Dork Forest and dork out for a while.
Hi, Rangers. It's me, Jackie Kashian. Welcome to the Dork Forest. It's 2024. Let's do this. Here's the credits, of course. Mike Ruekberg sang that song at the beginning, and he wrote that song, and he sang it with Sarah Cohen, his wife, and he will sing the Mexican hat dance at the end of the program. Also, Patrick Brady, still putting this together. Video, audio, all of it. He's amazing. So, and Vilmos doing JackieKashianStore.com. Squarespace is doing the regular Jackie Kashian page, and I'm thinking of moving the Dork Forest and dorkforest.com away from WordPress because it's driving me nuts. But those are the credits. But if you go to JackieKashian.com, you can get Dork Forest merch. You can get my stand-up merch. You can get my stand-up CDs and DVDs, which you'd have to have devices for those. You can also see videos and find out any number of things. I have another podcast called The Jackie and Laurie Show, but the Dork Forest is the flagship. 18th year. We're doing it, you guys. You can go to my Bandcamp or my YouTube for extra content. Please donate, is what I'm saying. It's 2024, and I think we've been in this long enough. Why don't you guys, everybody send me $100? That's what I'd like you to do. You can PayPal me. There's links all over the pages. You can Venmo me at Jackie Kashian. You can find me at a stand-up show and hand me a sweaty wad of 20s. Do something. But I love doing the show. I would love to make some money, is what I'd like to do. In other news, I'm sure there's more things that I should talk about, but I can't think of them. But let's listen to who's going to dork out about something, because that's my favorite part. Thanks for listening, you guys. You're all great. Let's get into the show. Do you feel it? Do you feel the old-timey Zoom recording happening, Jenni Powell?
Sure do. I feel it.
Well, Jenni Powell, here we are.
Hi.
On the Dork Forest. And welcome. I didn't get any of your information because there was so much. It was a project trying to get everything to work. Do you have an internet presence that you'd like the American public to know? And those in the
sure.
UK and Australia. Where would it be? What would it be?
So pretty much I'm on all social media and it's just my name. So I make it real simple.
At Jenni Powell, oddly enough?
At Jenni Powell. Just remember it's JENNI.
There you go. POWELL. It'll be in the notes. That's it. Well, I appreciate. See, here's the thing: is in the last couple of months, Jenni Powell and I have been gaming on a regular basis.
Yeah.
And you've been bringing over a buddy of yours, a guy that Andy knows as well, and the insanity is that the two of you and your friend, are going to like these LARP events, live action role playing. We've done other episodes about them. This thing seems at a different scale.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah,
it's pretty great.
And ongoing, right? Like a village. Like it feels like
12 years it's been going. 12 years.
And you've been doing it for a couple or a year
I've
and a half?
been doing it for almost 2.
2.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Now, Jenni Powell, LARPs, you guys. To LARP is to live action role play, which I have always considered sort of a costume party with game mechanics. Is that correct?
Yeah, I would say that. Yeah. Very immersive. You're being a character.
Right. So it's the most immersive theater because there's also The Immersivist. Please write that book, The Immersivist. And so it's here in Los Angeles, right?
Yeah, here in LA.
And
well, Corona.
Corona.
So it's like an hour and some change away.
Okay, so outside of the city.
Yeah.
On a field.
At a Renaissance fair. At a Renaissance fair village.
Okay.
We have actual buildings and
permanent structures on this village. So let's briefly discuss the place and the name of the company that runs it. Is it's just sort of like pile of awesome dorks just were like, we're doing this and let's see if we can rent this space.
So it's called Twin Mask.
Twin Mask.
Yes.
All right.
And yeah, it's volunteer run as far as I know.
Okay.
and they come together. I mean, we're generating revenue off of ticket prices because it is the
It's
largest
pay to play.
It's pay to play. It's
Mhm.
from what I understand, it's the largest attended LARP, definitely in the U.S., but maybe in the world. But I might be
Because
wrong
how
about
many
that.
people? How many people are we talking about?
We
Is
get
it and
about 300 to 500 a game.
300 to 500 people?
Yes.
As me, Jackie Kashian, as I always like to know, what's the parking like? Talk to me briefly about the parking. We're gonna get into it, but I want to know.
Sure.
Where do you
Well,
park? Is there a shuttle?
because it is on Renaissance Fair grounds, they just run the parking like you would as if it was running a Ren Fair. So they have big fields outside of the main area for
Right.
everybody to park.
Okay.
Yeah,
And people and thousands of people go to Renaissance fairs.
correct. So it's
So
actually
they're set up.
it feels comfy for us because that place can hold more than
300
500
people.
people. Yeah.
500 people.
But
Yeah.
for us, it feels nice and cozy.
Right. But room to grow, as they say. So Twin Mask and pay to play. And is there an ongoing story, or are there different ongoing stories? Like some people come on a Saturday, some people come on a Wednesday.
It goes over a weekend, so it's going to be a Friday night to a Sunday morning. So
Wait, it's
3 days.
overnight?
Yeah. There's that too. It's overnight.
Are you camping? Are you living in these structures? Are you staying in a
Um,
Hampton Inn nearby?
I stay at, we usually, there's a group of us that go together. So we have a whole system where we get an Airbnb together. Because I'm not quite, I
Okay.
tried to camp once. I've been, people are trying to
Didn't
convince me to
take.
try it again. But I like being able to go take a shower. It's lovely.
Yeah.
And sleep in a bed before I
Right.
go into my fantasy world.
Right.
So we do get an Airbnb. A lot of people camp. A lot of
Okay.
people camp.
And there's sort of a pile of you that get an Airbnb, so you all just share a big space.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
That's what we do.
Right.
Because we have a whole setup time that has to happen because we have buildings and things that we put together.
What?
Like I run with that friend you're talking about. His name
Yes,
is
your buddy.
Ruben.
Yes,
My
your buddy Ruben.
Ruben.
Yep.
We run a museum together, so we have all the artifacts and things for the museum that we have to bring in. It's a
Right.
whole. So we have the whole we have a schedule all set up.
Yeah.
Like we start.
So you
we
have to
start
show
at
up
10 in the
before the
morning.
game starts.
Yeah. We have to get to our storage unit that we rent a storage unit for all our
Together.
stuff.
Sure. Do you
Well,
share a
there's a
storage
group
unit
of
with
us.
other? There's the group.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's a group.
Shrewd move. Good move.
Yeah, and we get a U-Haul. We meet at the storage unit. We pack it all, unpack the whole thing,
Right.
put it in a U-Haul, go to site, put it all together, LARP for the weekend, and then on Sunday we break it all down and we put it all back.
You got to strike and
We
put it
gotta
all
strike
back.
and put it all back, and then we go to Red Robin, and we eat,
Wow.
and we
And
go, yay, we did it.
We did it. Red Robin.
Red
Okay,
Robin.
you guys might deserve something better than a Red Robin. But okay. So now I sort of have the mechanics down. You and Ruben have your LARP, your roles in
Yes.
this game. So the game that's Friday to Sunday. What's the theme? Is it sword and sorcery?
So it's dark fantasy.
Dark
Um,
fantasy.
It's a dark fantasy boffer LARP, which means there's fighting.
Oh, okay. So it is both theatrical and boffer.
Yes,
So a mix.
a mix. Yeah, I don't often fight. My
Right.
character's just not. My character's more of a support character.
Right.
So I'm
you're doing
usually-
theatrical LARPing.
Yeah, I'm doing more of that.
But people around you might be fighting.
Oh yes.
Are there plenty of people who are just theatrical like yourself, or do limited amounts of fighting? Or are there more boffers than
I
theatrical?
would say there's more boffers, and our current head of story is like really into the fighting, so it's kind of heavy fighting right now.
Okay.
He says nighttime is fight time.
Okay, so what time does it start during? So if you get there at 10 a.m., does everyone get there at noon?
So you can
Wearing
get
their
on site.
capes and their foam swords?
We get on site around 2 p.m.
Okay.
to set up.
Mm-hmm.
And then it starts, game on is when they start everything. There's announcements and stuff happen, and they go 3, 2, 1, game on, and then everyone's in character. That happens at 8:30 at night on Friday.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so
Friday night, look out. It's happening.
look out because nighttime is fight time.
Because nighttime is fight time.
You got there at 10. At
We got
2
there at
is
10.
when the doors open and everybody can just sort of come in and see everybody that they love.
2 o'clock is when people that volunteer, called advocates, can get on. So I'm a volunteer. So like I said, a lot of this is volunteer run. So I have an additional job on top of like my normal NPC shift that everybody has to do.
Okay.
So I chose to take on, I'm what's called an advocate. So I help with logistics and things like that.
Okay. And you do that.
We can get on a little bit early.
Yes. So, and everybody else is just sort of parking and hanging out and getting into setting up their tents, or
a lot of people hang out at the local Starbucks beforehand.
Okay.
That's when a lot of us see each other and get really excited and are like, yay!
Yay, we're all here again. How often does it run?
So Twin Mask is 8 months a year.
Every weekend?
No, like once a month.
Okay, there we go.
Only 8 months. 8 months of the year.
Okay, so
weekends of the year. 8 games a year. Yeah.
About 8 games. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. I just think about the dog. What are you doing, Tyson? You all right?
Tyson.
There was some project with him and his foot. So, I'm going to briefly, this is the joy of, that's how long I've been podcasting, you guys. We're not even going to cut this.
No, we don't cut this. This is the good stuff.
This is the good stuff right here. This is why you listen to the podcast. I throw a blanket over there so that he can cuddle in that if he wants to. Okay. So, I love the idea that 300 to 500 people show up at a Starbucks. Friday afternoon in Corona.
All at the same time, but
oh my God! But could you imagine the manager of that Starbucks going, "This is the greatest franchise ever"? Like whoever runs that Starbucks, must be like, "This is a cash cow."
Oh, they love it. Yeah, because a lot of people are like semi in costume already. Because some people do very complex makeup work and prosthetics and.
So Fantasy Boffer LARP. So what's the does the game change year to year or month to month as far as like where, like you're a museum in
we run
a town, and is Ruben also an NPC advocate?
He's what's called junior story staff, so he helps with storytelling aspects of the game.
So so there's sort of a committee that works on the story.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
What is the story as of right now? Can you tell?
Oh, okay. What's going on right now? So there's a demon called Mez.
Mez.
MEHS. Mez.
Okay. All right.
We just killed him.
Oh, good.
One
we did less good. Demon.
One less demon to deal with. Oh, but guess what? He's got 10 generals. Oh, now we gotta take care of all of those.
Oh, right, because you'd think they'd fight amongst themselves to see who could be the head general.
This might happen. We don't know yet, because so last game was really dramatic because our town got blown up by meteors.
Oh, meteors came out of the
sky. And blew up our town. So the whole game was trying to get everybody out of the town in time before the meteors hit. Because we got a warning. We got lucky. Our diviners were able to get information to us to let us know this was happening. So we had to figure out how to evacuate the town.
And there's actually 300 people there. 400 people.
Guess how many people are in the actual town? Because that's just players. There's also like NPCs.
Okay.
12,000 people live in this town.
Okay, but NPC wise, but I mean, I'm
NPCs.
talking about
Yeah.
are the actual people playing the game evacuating?
No.
Okay.
I mean,
this
the
is
meteors
the
came
theatrical
down.
part. There we
There
go.
was a theatrical part where there was music. It was well, the whole thing's interactive, but it was crazy.
Yeah.
It was crazy. And then the town got blown up. But of course, we as the players technically were still there. So there was
Right.
a whole bunch of like hanging out afterwards and like kind of mourning what happened.
Right, and finding out what the damage was, and
Yeah.
So, what are the mechanics of this? Like, are there dice? Is there a stick? What's happening?
Was there a stick? It's mostly. I mean, it's honor system. So you have hit points.
Sure. Okay.
And you have skills, and those things add to like you can start out with. There are ways to grow your health by learning skills over time.
Okay. Sure.
So it's all based on kind of a tutorial system where if you as a character want to learn new skills, you have to go find a player who already has those skills and you have to role play learning those things.
Okay.
So for instance, I wanted to get more tough. I wanted to have more health.
Okay.
So there's a skill called toughness.
Okay.
I have a good friend in game. His name is Penrose. And
Penrose.
I said, Penrose, good old Penrose.
May I apprentice to you?
I need to get tough. So teach me how to get tough. And he's like, great. And he took me into the middle of town and started beating me up.
Okay.
And invited other people to come and practice me being beat up so I can learn to be more tough.
Okay. So you guys, you actually
I had to do that for half an hour.
half an hour. Okay.
Half an hour is the magic learning time.
Oh, is the magic learning time a half an hour?
Yes,
I love that.
You need a half an hour. A lot of things are done by threes.
Okay.
Like if you run out of hit points, you go into something called bleed out. The normal bleed out is you're lying on the floor and you're hurt.
Yeah.
And you stay in that for like 3 minutes. So that's when you can role play like, oh, help, someone help me. And, people can come and patch you up and get you back up again.
Okay, yeah, because there's got to be healers.
Exactly. My character is a healer. So I have all the healing skills.
Okay.
I learned those skills.
You learned those first.
Yeah, I decided when I started, I was like, I'm going to be more of a support character. I want to know how to do healing. I want to be able to give people buffs. And like
buffs being
like
to buff them up to make them stronger.
Like I have a skill called Serenade because I'm also a bard. So I play music.
Yes.
And I think you know this, Jackie. I play crystal bowls. I own crystal bowls and Tibetan bowls. So I bring them to site and I set them up. And if I play for you for 3 minutes, it bestows a buff on you called willpower, which means if somebody tries to magically do something to you, you can resist it.
Okay, because you have
have a willpower, and I bestowed it upon you.
So they've come to you for 3 minutes, and you've gone to somebody else for a half an hour. Are you given like a card or something going? Or is it, like you said, just the honor system? So the next time you run into somebody who wants to fight you, you're like, actually, I am my strength is this, or my hit points are this.
Yeah. We don't say it out loud like that, but like if I gave somebody willpower and then they go and somebody tries to like put a spell on them, like sleep, like you call it out. And so the person would respond with willpower.
Okay.
And the person would be like, oh, they got willpower. Can't do
this is the greatest, like, this is an adult, organized, monetized, like, fully, like, realized, I shot you, no, you missed, from when we're kids.
Yeah.
And, but everybody's on the honor system, and it's just nerds who want to play. I want to play imagination, and I'm going to be this character, and you can. So there
are staff people around that they wear white headbands, so you know that they're like not in character.
Okay.
And there are people who will ask to see you have something called, we call it our soul. It is a piece
Okay.
of paper that has all our stats on it. We do carry.
Oh, the
we do
character
carry
sheet.
that with us. So
Yeah, that's
a
your
character sheet.
papers.
We carry it with
Yes.
us. So someone
That
can
makes sense.
check. Yeah, someone can check. It's just, they tend not to want to do that because they don't want to break the immersion.
Right. And if you are lying in that situation, hey, weirdo.
What are you doing? Like,
yeah.
what? Why though?
Right, because if somebody would say to me, sleep, and I wouldn't have the willpower to fight it, how long am I out? 3 minutes? A half an hour?
Usually it would probably be something either between 3 minutes and half an hour.
Okay.
Just because they try to keep it easy for you to count in your head.
Yes. Right. So that it can be so the mechanics can be easily so every power
And
has
some people carry little timers with them.
Okay.
That keep track of, like, I have a timer when I do a serenade. I just put the timer on the table that's set for 3 minutes, and then I know when I'm done.
Egg timer, digital, or an actual tiny
little
plastic
sand
hourglass? Little sand
Plastic
hourglass?
little sand hourglass, yeah. I actually
Very nice.
have it tied to my waist
That's
so that
it.
I can pull it out and use it when I need it.
How are the costumes? Are they all sort of
Costumes are so cool.
yeah?
People get really into it. Yeah.
It's because I've been to cons where people do the cosplay, and but this is once a month. You could build a costume.
Oh yeah.
And keep adding to it and upgrading and doing all these things. So, what is your costume?
My costume is, my character always dresses in purple. It's all purple.
Are you royalty?
Well, technically I'm a noble, yes.
Yes.
So that was a skill that I bought when I first started. I wanted to be noble.
Okay.
I'm a little bit of a fancy lady. My character's name is Venetta Dubois.
Yes.
She is from the Celestine Empire.
Okay.
And Celestine Empire, people from the Celestine Empire tend to be very like good and righteous, and she's she does some underworld stuff. She kind of hides behind like, sure, I'm from the Celestine Empire. I don't do anything.
I'm as pure as the driven snow, and then she's sliding people 20s. Well,
yeah, a little bit of that.
How's the provenance of all of your the items in your museum? Is it, you got any fakes?
Oh, do we have fakes?
Yep.
I mean, I can't really talk about how we procured some of the items.
Right, you got
a lot of times people just, at this point, it's the museum is known enough that people just show up with all kinds of stuff. They're like, here's the head of a demon. Do you want it? Here's,
Okay.
Yeah. Body parts of things people have killed. It's great.
It's great. Now, do you display? Do you curate? Do you change the display month to month? Or
since it's just me and Ruben, we do the best we can to keep it. He knows the items much better than I do. It's funny. He talks about, when he describes our two characters. If anyone's watched Andor recently,
yes, Andor, but is it that
and Clea?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
all right.
That's very much kind of our vibe. And in fact, he kind of built the character based on Lucen from Andor. Yeah.
Oh,
or
cool.
like evolved his character because of that. So it's very like, we do stuff. I wouldn't say the museum's kind of a front for other things that we do. And it's the thing about our museum is it's open because sometimes people need to get to the items we have and use them for plot reasons. So it's like, we want people to know, like, you can come and, like, if there's anything in here that's
is there like a website where you're like, I need the left elbow of a goat? Where might I find that? Can somebody look for that?
So
where would they?
That's so funny that you bring that up, because right now we're working on a big project where we're creating a giant book to house all the information about all the pieces in the museum.
Right. Because like, what if you are on the other side of town or on a different quest, and you wanna say, well, people are going to need the horn of a certain moose, and where could they have get it in this setup? And then if they're like, well, go check the big book.
Exactly.
And or they go and they check the big book, and then they can write their story around it, and then somebody else can go and check the big book and find out where they're going to get it. It's because is the big book just going to be an inventory of your museum, or sort of a list of all magical items that you would like to one day own and where they are currently?
That's very interesting. Well, there's definitely going to be, we plan on it being narrative. We want the stories to be in there, because the whole thing of this is to keep a place that's keeping the history of the town through the items that we collect.
Okay, that makes sense.
But we've already made the covers for it, because my dad, who is retired now, he has all this free time, and he's like, I'll make you, like, they're giant wooden, like birch wood covers. They're huge. They're huge. And the pages are being made out of materials that you use to make sails, boat sails.
Okay, so that canvasy stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So when it's all done, it's going to be about 60 pounds and like enormous. Like you have to
Just
open it like, yeah. So
that's going to be awesome.
It's going to be. We gotta keep working on it though.
Mm-hmm. Oh, right.
We take on these big projects and then we're like, we gotta finish this project.
Right. So what are people, let's see, where am I at? How much time have we talked? Not bad. Okay. So, by the way, talking with Jenni Powell, about sort of this giant LARP that she does once a month, 8 months a year in Corona. It's called Twin Mask. You've done a lot of other LARPs though, right? But this has to be the biggest.
Yeah. This is the biggest one that I do. And this was the first one that I did.
Oh, okay.
But growing up, my parents were Civil War reenactors. And they've been doing that since I was 11 years old. Right.
Oh my God, you guys, full circle. I forgot about this. Jenni Powell's parents were Civil War reenactors.
They still do it.
They're still hitting it. It's why your dad's willing to make a giant birch bark thing.
He's like, yes, he very much supports. My parents both, they came actually last month. They came out. Yeah, because they did a family day where you could invite your friends and family. And so, of course, I was like, Mom and Dad, you have to come.
You have to come see what it looks like. Yeah. And so they could kind of wander around and see. It's sort of like Ren Fair, or like, but you're essentially, were people still in character? Like, could they wander in like a true immersive theater kind of event where you've wandered into some sort of confrontation or just
tried to keep the fighting away from the guests as much as possible.
That's probably for the best. Because what are people using? Are they using giant foam swords? What do they got?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Foam swords. So you can have short weapons, long weapons, thrown weapons. There's archers. The archers are impressive. They're so cool.
If they're any good at it, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
Are there some people that are really good at it?
Oh yeah, like incredibly good at it. So they have these giant foam, obviously to cover the tips.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, it's just a big boink.
Boink. It's a big boink. Yeah.
And then they have to shoot it across, like it's a ranged weapon.
It's a ranged weapon. Yes. Yep.
Are they in a part of the Ren Fair space that is less populated? I mean, like,
no, they're in the fight with everybody.
Oh, good Lord! So, well,
they just run around town and shoot things. It's
that's not how real archers. Archers they'd be on top of building, and they'd be
they do that too. They do that too. Like if we're doing a formation, right? Yes, the archers go in the back.
Right.
But if you're in town and like an imp attacks the bar, you're just gonna shoot him.
You're just gonna pull out your bow and shoot him.
Pull out your bow. Take care of that imp.
Are they crossbows, or are they longbows, or are they both? Are they whatever kind of bow they use? What are we looking at?
No crossbows.
Okay.
There's no crossbows. It's all the longbows.
Just longbows. Okay.
Yeah. At least I haven't seen any crossbows. Just longbows.
Okay. All right. So Are there fancy dress people? Are there people who are dressed up, like to look beautiful and handsome?
Oh yeah. I mean, I like to say that I dress up pretty
Right. You dress up pretty because you wear your purple thing.
because I wear my purple outfit, and I have a lot of hats.
Oh, you do
I'm into
headwear.
hats. I do hats. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I got a lot. I've got like a whole room full of hats.
Yeah. Outstanding. So, because I one time, one of Andy's buddies, his buddy Lee, he had a friend of his from San Diego make. There was some sort of Society for Creative Anachronisms is the name of the group, right?
SCA. Yep.
SCA, and he was going to a benefit for breast cancer, and they were all to dress, in character or something. So she made him this gorgeous brocade 3-piece with tails, pink.
Yeah.
He looked like a quilt. Like it was the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen in my life.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was
incredible.
really.
Does he still have it?
Oh, I'm sure it's still in the closet. I mean, I think it cost him like $300 or $500. I mean, she gave him a deal, but he still had to buy all the cloth and stuff.
Totally.
Yeah. So, do you sew? Do you do that kind of thing?
I don't sew.
Do you order stuff out, or are you buying pre-made? What are you doing?
So I get pre-made. There's this company called Holy Clothing that I really like.
Ooh.
Holy Clothing. Scarlet Darkness is another brand that's pretty good.
Okay.
I'm not looking to spend like thousands, hundreds and thousands of dollars on outfits because
could you're
out there and you could, yeah. Some people I have like a primary dress that's pretty much the one that I wear.
Right.
And it's comfortable, and because you have to keep in mind we're doing this year round.
Yeah, year round, and for 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah. Or more.
Or more.
Usually more.
Wait,
I mean,
yeah.
I'm usually not getting to sleep until like maybe 3 or 4 in the morning, and I'll get like maybe 3 or 4 hours of sleep. Maybe.
Okay, so Friday night starts at 8:30.
Yep.
What a weird time.
Nighttime is fight time.
I know, but why 8:30? Not 8.
I don't know. That's always
arbitrary, but that's the
8:30.
time. 8:30.
That's the time.
I would say by 12:30 you got to be done, right?
No. 5 a.m.
It literally will go
There'll be
overnight if
story
you want to.
If you want to, yeah. There'll be story pretty much all night.
Wow.
And anchor fights, those are happening between like 10 and midnight.
Now, what are anchor fights?
The big monsters, that's when like demons are coming out. The big monsters.
Okay, between
because you can die. You can die in this game.
And then what happens? You have to create a new character?
Well, first when you die, you go play the death game.
Oh.
I can't talk about the death
game.
It's a secret.
It's a secret. Have you died?
I have died.
Okay, but there is a separate area where like everyone's in Valhalla or whatever, and that's a separate game.
Yes.
And then you are allowed to come back, sort of like Top Chef Redemption or whatever.
Sure. Yes, exactly. You have survived Top Chef. It's like Exile Island on Survivor.
Okay. If there's a second chance, I think it's called Second Chance Top Chef or something.
Yeah, something like that. It's like that. And then if you survive the game, you get to come back, but your soul has some corruption. So the game gets harder the more you have to play it. So eventually you will die.
Okay. Can you cure yourself of corruption?
There are a few ways in the game that are very either expensive or like you have to do a lot of work to get corruption removed from your soul. But
what else are you doing, right? I mean, we're all working on ourselves, right? Exactly. You got one weekend a month to work on your soul? Come on.
Exactly. You gotta do it.
It depends how much you like that character. So when your character does die eventually.
Permanently.
permanently.
That's called perming. That means
Perming.
you permanently died.
And then what? And then you create another character.
Yes. But here's the thing. You can always have another character. You can have one character and an alt.
Okay.
So you can play two different characters at the same time. You
in
just
the same
have
weekend.
To manage your time. Yep.
Okay.
You can do that. Mm-hmm.
And are you paying per character to play? Or are you paying per person? Like you as is it a carload, you being the car?
Oh.
Or is it everybody in the car? Which is, this is Gaston Mansplain, and then this is Ashley Madison.
I actually don't know. Because I don't have an alt. I only I might someday, but I just haven't thought of another character that I love as much as the character I have right now, who I'm really enjoying playing.
Yeah.
So right now, I don't have an alt. I think it might be like $10 extra or something. Okay. It's not like a lot, but you can play up to two.
So to rent this space, I know that we're not really getting into the game as much as possibly you might want to. And feel free to just ride roughshod over me if I'm asking questions that are not the fun part for you.
If I don't know the answer, I'm just going to tell you I don't know.
Right, but if there's things that we're not talking about that you would like to talk about. But here's my fascination with this. So you've essentially, there's a committee that has to interact. There's staff, right?
Yeah.
And they do things like interact with the Ren Fair people to get the space. Mm-hmm. They organize the volunteers and the advocates, and they assign. There has so much scheduling, and nobody
creating what are called the mods, which are the story sections are called mods, which involve like characters and.
Yeah, so
it's a huge amount of organization.
Right, there's a spreadsheet with 500 at least characters, and the story people have to write storylines for all of these people.
It's really hard nowadays to have personalized stories because there are so many people. But they can do things like, you have different kinds of groups that you are a part of, like
guilds and
like I am a bard, so I'm in the Bardic College, and so we might have a storyline that involves the Bardic College. And if you're in the Bardic College, you probably want to be a part of that storyline, or there's usually the large storylines like what we were talking about with the demons, the overall demon war that we're going through. That kind of affects everybody. Mm-hmm. But then there can be these smaller stories that happen that there's a type of, it's not currency. It's not currency as in like money. We have currency. You have money in the game. But there's also another mechanic called influence.
Yes.
Which you pay influence to research things in the games, and these are the ways that players show that they have interest in particular storylines. So if there's a bardic
storyline and you want to take part in that bardic storyline, you kind of have to spend influence to sort of buy your way in.
Like, this is what it looks like. It's like its own type of
it's its own type of currency. What are those made out of?
Paper.
Okay. I just thought maybe they might have been canvas. All right. It's paper's good. I love paper.
I'm in another LARP that's it's a Western, futuristic Western. So good.
When do you have time for that?
I know.
What? Is that another Twin Mask one or?
No, it's totally different. It's run by different people.
Okay.
But anyway, they 3D print all their money. It's real cool. It feels good in your hands.
They have somebody has a 3D printer. How many people are in the Old West one?
That one's about like 50 to 70. It's a lot smaller.
Hi, that's still enormous.
It's still pretty big.
Try to organize 4 people to come over to this house. I can't do it. So that's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess
the more influence you kind of pump into a storyline, the more you can kind of show the staff, like, I want to do these storylines. And then that's their way of saying, okay, well, we'll invest more in, because you invested time and put the influence in.
Right.
We'll give you more storylines in that area.
Okay. And then is the Western one also out at this Ren Fair place? Or no?
Yes, it
Okay.
is. It's
Okay.
using the same venue.
Okay. So to play the game, this is 8 weekends.
Uh-huh.
2 or 3 night weekends, right? Or when are you coming back? Monday morning?
No, you come back Sunday
Okay.
afternoon.
So 2 nights, 3 days, or 2.5 days easily, right?
2.5 days, yeah.
And may I ask how much this costs? Is there a sliding fee scale? Is there, what are we talking about? Do you get a deal if you're a volunteer? Can you work it off?
If you're staff, your ticket is covered.
Okay.
Because
but there are different layers of
exactly
staff, advocate, volunteer kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Advocates, the benefit we have is that we get to pick our NPC shifts, and our NPC shifts are slightly different. So that's the benefit of that. I think.
But let's say if you wanted a full blown, I'm coming in, I want to be a diviner.
Yeah.
How much does?
Because I'm a diviner.
Okay. Does it? But are you paying $200 a weekend?
No. It's. I think it's 75.
Okay, for the gaming part, because you're obviously taking care of your own food and lodging, and
yes, take care of your own food and lodging.
Right, but it's just $75.
If you have in-game money,
yeah,
you're eating like a king. Because here's the thing: the people that bring food, because we don't have a license to sell food.
Okay.
However, if people want to bring in food and fake currency is given to them in exchange for delicious meals, you can do that.
Okay.
So I now am at a point where I usually can get myself fed at the game using in-game money.
How do you earn in-game currency?
Oh, so many ways. I mean,
the same way with real currency, Jackie.
The best way is to sell food, to be honest. To sell food.
Oh, to bring, because if you bring food.
If you bring food in and you're selling
you will then receive
in-game currency, you're making.
Who's in charge of the mint? Who's in charge of the mint? Who's producing the currency?
Logistics is printing the currency.
Okay, and how do they? I mean, they're the balancing the money part of this, like in-game money balancing. I only know that because Andy is often in charge of balancing the money part of games that he develops in game design, and so there has to be someone doing that in your giant 300, 500 people LARP.
Yeah.
So that there's not too much money.
But and we're actually in the game. We are in a recession right now. We're trying to get more money into the game right now. That is because there's a whole, if you want to play politics and economics, you can do that.
Right.
I'm a council member on the new government because we just, a few years ago, we overthrew the government, and now we're forming a new government, and so that takes resources and time and lots of meetings.
So many meetings. Are they all 3 minutes long? I want them all to be 3 minutes long.
No, they're not. I wish.
Boo! Yes.
That would make my life a lot. Well, I'd be running around like a crazy person, getting
right to different meetings.
Like,
Right. So so to generate money, would it help if people brought more food? Like if people brought stuff to buy with in-game currency?
Food helps. The museum actually did a really cool event last game where we did an art auction. So we had players create art pieces.
Okay.
And then we invited very high-level NPCs with a lot of money to come to this auction so that we could get the NPCs' money into the player base.
Okay.
And it was wildly successful. And
congratulations.
Yay! we did good. Good job.
Yes. You're helping the economy. You're fixing the economy.
The economy.
You're not wrong. Well, That sounds amazing. It genuinely. So, okay. So now I know that you can, and is there somewhere to get water? You're there for 8 hours, or are you
Oh, yeah.
pumping in like bubblers and
So,
like, are there water fountains?
There are what's called water donations, because here we get into another aspect of the game. So you have character points, which is the points that you spend on your character that you earn playing the game.
Makes sense.
There's also something called IP, which is if you do things to assist the game, like bring water or donate costumes, or like there's an Amazon wish list of things that the LARP needs.
Okay.
If you get those things for the LARP, you earn IP points, which can be converted into things you can use in the game. Like you can convert IP for a certain amount of money. Like you can exchange in-game money. Yeah.
Okay.
And things like that.
Okay. So if somebody brings a case of water, you
get some IP. Yeah.
Yeah. And can you turn that IP into like character points?
You can't do that.
You cannot. That is not
things like you can get influence, you can get money. What are some other things you can do with IP? There's a list of things you can do with it, but you can't straight change it for character points because you'd get so strong so fast. So
that'd be bribery. Yeah,
they could buy their way into my character's invincible.
Right. I saw Ready Player One just recently again, so I get it.
Yeah.
Well, cool. This has been fascinating. So, what kind of character do you play in the Western one? Do you play?
In the Western one, I play a character named. What is her last name? I'm forgetting her last. I want to say Delilah Dubois, but it's not. Dubois' name.
No, because you're Vanetta Dubois.
I know.
In this one, maybe she's in a parallel universe, Delilah. But what does she do?
Delilah is a frontier novelist. So she writes novels about the old West, like the past West.
Why is this a dystopian future West? What is this again?
This is the dystopian future West. So she writes about the old West back in the days when there were horses and you lived on a farm that grew crops.
Okay.
And because now it's all radiated and the ground is, you have like robots and stuff. And yeah. So, but she created a character called Henrietta Slim that she writes about this character.
Pew 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 pew
pew pew. Yeah.
Well, good for. Okay. So what is it sort of the same in the way that there's influence, and are the mechanics kind of the same?
So I've only been to one of these games so far, so I'm still kind of learning the system. But that one is more run of, there's money called quarks.
Okay.
And then there's things called resources, which you have to venture out into these other zones. Like when you start the game, you're in the green zone, which is relatively safe. And if you want, you can just stay in the green zone the whole time and just do theatrical LARP and just, be in the old west town, go to the tavern and order,
milk, and then get into a fist fight about it.
Yeah. Play some poker, that kind of stuff. Or you can go out into the yellow zones, red zones, and black zones, which black zones are very dangerous.
Skiing. Yeah, like the different different ski levels.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And you go forage for resources so that you can build things like armor pieces and
okay.
So there's like dual economy where there's this like the quarks, which is just like money, or there's all these resources because different resources of different colors are worth more.
Okay.
And so you build a character that like forages for whatever kind of resources.
Okay.
Like they have miners or prospectors, socialites, which are more like they don't go out as much. They're more of like the support people, like the healers.
Okay.
Like that. And yeah,
what do you want to do with your novelist character? Are you going to stay in town for a second, or
she's a socialite? So what she does is she can recharge people by telling them stories. which is why I created a character that tells stories. So she's
Makes
always
sense.
going up to people and she's like, did I tell you about the time that Henrietta Slim blah, 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 blah? Did I tell you about the time that Henrietta Slim did this?
Did
And
this
it's-
other thing? I
and
don't know
it's
if you
always
guys know
like-
this about Henrietta Slim. Okay.
I don't know if you guys know this, but Henrietta Slim did this.
I want someone to think in game, they're like, well, when do we get to meet Henrietta Slim? And you're like, well, I'm actually a novelist. And Henrietta Slim is a made up character.
Is a made up person.
A
that has
made up
done
person in
everything.
my has done everything in my made up world. It's did you ever read Miss Fisher's Murder Mysteries?
Yes, I did.
Because her character is like that, where she's
They're like that.
maxed. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
it's
Maxed.
she's
done
super
everything.
maxed. She can fly an airplane. She can shoot a gun. She can speak
Yep.
Chinese.
That's basically Henrietta Slim. Henrietta
she
Slim
can-
can do anything.
She can dance.
Yeah.
She can do code breaking. Whatever it is, it turns out, Franny Fisher's got
She
it.
does all the things that Delilah herself wishes she could do.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's
So-
why it's called fiction, Delilah. That's right. That's so cool. What do you want to do with your character in the other game?
Like Twin Mask.
Yeah.
So Vanetta Dubois has been very, very busy since I started playing Vanetta Dubois. So, and Jackie, you know me, I take on a lot. So it's probably no surprise to you. I do like a million things. So yes, game one, I basically went up to Ruben and was like, I want to help you with your museum.
Okay.
I was like, I want to.
So you weren't even part of the museum team when you first came in.
When I first came in, a group of my friends, including Ruben, helped me build my character. And I basically decided, based on hearing them talk, I was like, Ruben knows what he's doing. And Ruben has like a very clear thing. I'm going to just like hitch my wagon and let's
To
go.
Ruben.
Let's
right.
go.
And so you guys, and so you built sort of an academic, because you're also a diviner. And what does the diviner do?
Yep. I'm a diviner. I'm a bard.
Right.
I can, with certain magical skills, it's not seeing the future, but it's getting an idea of what the future might hold if we don't do anything about it.
Oh,
the
okay.
future can still change, but you know what I'm saying? Like, we just kind of get information about the future.
Oh, okay. Right, because divine, you would scry and figure out what the heck's going on.
And I use my crystal bowls for that. So I put
right, 'cause you were a
I put
museum.
water into my crystal bowls and I play them and I kind of get visions.
Right.
So story staff will come around if they see me playing my bowls. And
What people should know is that Jenni Powell actually plays crystal ball.
Yes,
like
I
she
do.
actually plays the water crystal things. And
which I knew.
I've never heard you do it. I would love to hear you do it.
Yeah, you should hear it. You should come when I do want to do it
Yeah.
sometime. But because I had that skill set, I wanted to build it into the character because it's fun
Yeah.
and it's unique.
And you'll get to play more often.
And I get to play more often. So
Right.
it helps me practice. So it's very legit logical as well.
It ticks all the buttons as
Ticks all
far
the
as like
buttons, all the
gaming and
yeah.
real life kind of skills. So
Yeah,
that's
it's
cool.
super fun to see people's faces when I start playing and they're like, what is that?
Right. They're like, oh, they're not just props.
They actually do stuff. So
Yeah, that's amazing. That is
Yeah.
so cool.
yeah. And I make money because sometimes people hire me to play the bulls.
Oh,
For
you could
performances.
also put out a hat. You could start busking.
Yeah, because I'm a bard. So
Yeah, you're a bard. That's what bards do.
I got all the things covered. So and the Bard at College has a seat on the council in the government, and I hold that seat so I'm their representative in the government.
Oh my gosh. That is
so
so
I do
many
that.
tasks in this LARP. This is so
I spend a lot of political influence. That's what my character does. She gathers and spends
Wow.
a lot of political influence.
that is a lot of beeswax.
Yeah.
Where you're just like, so here's the thing. So you've been doing this a little over almost 2 years, you said,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So did you know any of the people that were in this besides Ruben going in?
Absolutely. Yeah. So I had
Okay.
a group of friends who had been doing it for a while.
Okay, right. Okay. So have you met new friends, and do you have Like, is it just an awesome kind of social?
Oh my gosh, yeah. We all hang out outside of game. We do
Yeah.
stuff together. Like it's a
It's
blast.
just community, right?
Yeah,
Just an
it's a
awesome, neat.
great, awesome community, and we like. There's almost so much going on. It's like, which things do I go to?
Right. Because,
So
right. And this is just, I mean, this is my favorite thing about the Dork Forest is that you meet
yeah.
you just like-minded individuals where you're just like, if I needed to talk to somebody, I would have someone to call. And
Oh,
that's what
100%.
gaming does 100%.
Yeah.
And different kinds of games and all. I mean, even when I think about my nephew Salmon, probably 1995, he
Mhm.
was 15 or 16, and he had to write an article about community for a paper for
Yeah.
school, and he wrote it about his video game community
Yeah.
because he's he was playing PS1, or I mean I don't know what he was playing, but computer games, and just shit talking and not doing all the things, but also meeting real people. And he was like,
Yeah.
there's a bunch of different people. Some of these guys are in their 40s, and some of these people are my age, and some of these people, I don't know what they are or who they are or where they live or any of it. But if I were bummed out, there was someone I could talk to,
Mhm. Yep.
So I think this is a great investment. And I
Yeah.
don't want to do it because it sounds like a lot of work. But I'm so glad you do it
Yeah.
because I get to hear about it. Is there anything? Okay, we're at like 5 minutes. Anything you want to tell people? I'm talking with Jenni Powell, by the way. Instagram, Facebook, all the things.
Sure.
Just at
I have all
and then-
those things.
and Twin Mask is the one that's in Corona.
Yes.
And the costume ones that you like are Holy Clothing and Scarlet Darkness. Those are kind of fun.
Yeah, those are fun.
Okay, I like the idea of telling people that they can go check out some.
Yeah, check out those places if you want to get some outfit
That's it. I might see. I like the idea of the
and
outfits.
fit in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I would just wear
I mean,
them.
when I started, like when I first built Veneta, I remember sitting down with Ruben and a couple of a couple of my friends, we all got together and they helped me build my character. And when I
Right.
first started, I was like, I just want to be a pretty lady that gets into all the good parties. That's what I want to be.
Yes.
And then as soon as I showed up, I'm like, give me 8 jobs.
Exactly. So you could take you out of the world, but you could just put you right back in the world.
Yeah.
Because even in the fantasy world, you're like, can I be overwhelmed? Could somebody quickly?
Yeah, but it's not overwhelming for me. Like that's how I
No.
like to be. That's
Right.
just
Exactly.
my-
So it's perfect.
yeah, it's perfect. It's like it clicks all the boxes of just like what I like to do. So
That's awesome. Jenni Powell, I'm just going to say this has been a great episode of The Dork Forest.
yeah, oh,
And-
awesome. Yes, I've had a good time too.
Yay. And thank you so much for doing it. And I am going to figure out, because we're doing it on Zoom accidentally. Not even
Whoopsie.
accidentally. Whoopsies. But it's working very well. So Rangers, you know the rules out there. Take care of each other.
Hi, Adal. How was the show?
Well, it was really fun. It was your idea. You were like, I should get Jenni Powell to be on the show. And Jenni
Right.
Powell was on the show. And she talked about this giant LARP that she's in.
Mm-hmm.
And a second, what also felt like if she would have told, it was only disappointing how large it was after the first LARP. Because the first LARP is 300 to 500 people every one weekend a month, 8
Right.
months a year.
Right. It's a lot.
The second one she is in is 50 to 70 people. And I was like,
Right.
that would have wowed me if she had not told me about the 300 people.
Right. And if you had not seen a 60-person LARP
I have seen
When
a
we
60.
start-
Yes.
when we started dating, because you were around for Sandman
The Wake.
6, The Wake.
Mm-hmm. I didn't
And,
know the number. We've talked about
I'm
it
not sure
before,
that that number is actually correct.
This
but,
thing,
yeah.
she said it was both. It was a dark fantasy boffer LARP.
Okay. So
And-
boffer LARP means that you run around and hit each other with sticks,
Right. Foam swords and all that.
foam swords and whatnot. Yep.
She told me that they have foam archers.
Yes.
And I was like, wait, where are they? Like, are they doing it in a separate field? And she's like, oh no, when there's a big battle, they're just up close and shooting people with their. I was like, what? She said, well, when we play army, the archers are in the back, of course.
Sure.
But when it's just nighttime is fight time, she said, is what the
That's right.
what the slogan is.
She's told me a little bit about it, and it's a village or like a town, and then at night the monsters arrive, and you have to be sort of secure in your home. And if you're not, you can
she
get
said that they
attacked by
just
monsters.
destroyed this main demon, but they didn't realize he had 10 generals or 12 generals. So that'll be the next time.
That's a full year's worth of content right there.
That's it. And well, she runs the museum with Ruben. And,
okay, right.
And I forgot her dad. So they want to make sort of an inventory book, but like a giant book that they'll have to use 2 hands to open, with a birch cover.
That's right.
Canvas pages. And her dad's going to make it. Because
nice.
Remember, her parents
are very crafty.
Civil War reenactment people.
That's right. But they're both very crafty too. Remember, her mom made the cozy for my mom's
teapot.
Teapot.
Yes. Yeah,
and so
she did.
Her parents just make stuff.
They make stuff. They come on out. But it sounded so. Of course, the first question I had to ask was, "What's the parking?" And she said it's a repurposed Ren Fair space, so there's plenty of parking.
Right.
And and then there was some talk also of the economy, and they're in a recession right now. So in game,
right?
So the money isn't balanced. So they had a big
money's tight.
Money's tight. So they had a big silent auction at the museum, and so NPC characters have more money.
Mm-hmm.
So they had actual walking around characters make art, and then the NPCs would buy it with their money.
Okay. Oh, that's kind of cool.
It was an influx of some cash.
I'll tell you, I love an auction, of course.
Yeah,
and I love an auction in a LARP even better. There have been several games that I've been in or run that had an auction place as sort of a central kind of like event. In fact, Deadwood, if you remember, had auctions every time.
Yep.
But then there was a really great game that was 1920s like Cthulhu. It was always Cthulhu. Mike Tice game in which there was an auction was like we'd have some LARP time and then there would be auction time and then LARP time and then auction time.
And were the auctions always set up to sort of get money into the game?
Oh no! Usually it's designed to get some artifact into the game.
Oh, there you go. That's great.
Right, and then there was a vampire LARP that I was in for many years ago that Bill and Nikki Maxwell ran.
Right,
in which the pregame before we made our characters was a big auction. We first formed teams of players that were families of vampires.
Okay.
And then we auctioned off chunks of San Francisco.
Oh, okay. Territory.
To be our territory in the game.
Okay.
And that was probably the most fun I've ever had in an auction.
All right. So,
auctions are great. I love an auction.
Well, maybe a different episode of the Dork Forest about auctions in games. And or do you like real auctions too?
Well, I should be. You've seen me in one of them, and it ended up being we have a piece of artwork now.
Yes, we do.
We might have overpaid.
I think we did, but it's been 20 years, so it's okay.
Yeah.
This was a really fun episode, so I hope everybody enjoyed it. And it was your idea, so thank you for that, because Jenni Powell, is great.
She's awesome.
And Rangers, you know the rules out there. Take care of each other.
My hat, my hat, my hat. They're dancing around my hat. My hat, my hat, my hat. Well, what do you think of that?
If it looks like a Mexican hat dance and it sounds like a Mexican hat dance, it's most likely a Mexican hat dance. So take off your hat and let's dance.
Yay! Oh my God. Why don't we just call that as the end of the show?